Hello everyone, Cavsan here. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today we'll be doing a weapon review of the Fedorov Avtomat. And we'll be taking a look at the history of the gun, how it came along, and essentially be looking at the first ever assault rifle. Yes, the Fedorov Avtomat has come into Battlefield 1 in two separate variants, including the trench and optical. And it's been added to the meta class as part of the Russian DLC. So let's take a look at the weapon's history. Initially designed to be a semi-auto rifle, which was later changed to a full auto gun, this is due to the design of the gun, or to the designer of the gun, Vladimir Fedorov, who when in France in 1915 was fascinated by the French Chauchat because of its firepower, and he went there, he was assigned there. Here in France, he came up with the idea of introducing a gun, a firepower intermediate from a rifle and a LMG, but with the mobility of a rifle. So he didn't want the clunkiness of a LMG, but he wanted the full auto ability that it had, so he wanted to combine the two of them. So when he returned to Russia in 1916, he retained the mechanism for the semi-auto, but added a selective fire switch which allowed the gun to fire it in full auto. He added the curved 25 round detachable box magazine, which used the Japanese 6.5 by 50mm SR Arisaka ammo, which was in great abundance. It was in great abundance because the Russians bought several Arisaka rifles from the Japanese and the British as the round before the war, and even during the war they bought rifles from them. In 1916, the Russian army ordered 25,000 Fedorov Avtomat rifles after them being used in some training facilities, and they saw that these could actually be used to a great ability. And it was given to a regiment in early 1917 on the Romanian front, and they were to give feedback about the gun's performance. But with the terrible Kerensky offensive, which was launched in July 1917, which basically led to the collapse of the whole Russian Empire, the regiment was lost, and the government never got to see how well it worked in the actual field of fire. Only 100 were produced before the Russian Empire collapsed. The gun was remade and used in the Russian Civil War, however, but the gun had only 3,200 copies that were made. So after the 100 that were made during the war, only 3,100 others were made after the war during the Russian Civil War. It was produced till 1925 until the communist government decided it wasn't worth building them anymore. The gun wasn't mass produced since it was ahead of its time, and supplies to make it were hard to find. It is known as the predecessor of the assault rifle, and some people even say it is the first ever assault rifle, even though most people give credit to the Sturmgewehr 44 or the MP44. The gun only weighed 5.2 kilos or 11.5 pounds fully loaded. So it wasn't that heavy of a rifle, and it probably would have done great in the war had it been, given to an army that could have actually been able to produce them. So I do believe that this gun, in the right hands, could have been something that would have been heavily mass-produced after the war, and could have led to so much advances in the assault rifle sort of sphere. So now let's move on to the stats. These are from Synthic.com. You can go look at them yourself. There's several different things that I didn't include in here. So the Fedorov does a max damage of 28 and a minimum damage of 19. So up to 27 meters, it should be a 4-shot kill. That means you have to land all 4 shots, of course. If you're a little off with your shot and you end up going through like 10 rounds to kill someone, that's more on you. But you have to land 4 shots to them. And then after that, it'll be a 5 to 6 shot kill. The gun has a fire rate of 449 rounds per minute and a muzzle velocity of 570 meters per second. So overall, not too bad, especially for a medic gun. When empty, the reload is 3.8 seconds, and when there is 1 or more rounds left, it takes only 2.7 seconds. And then let's move on to the gun review and unlock. Let's start with the unlock first. To unlock the optical variant, you need to get 58 kills with the Selbstabler M1916 optical and 20 kills with the C96 pistol. So if you want the optical, you have to be a a rank 10 medic. So for some people, I know that's a little harder that don't play a lot of medic, but you know, it's definitely worth it. The C96 is an okay pistol. That one takes a little while, and I enjoyed playing with the Selbstabler because that's one of my favorite medic guns. So not bad. And to unlock the trench variant of the Fedorov Avtomat, you need to get 40 kills with the Che-Ragoti trench and perform 40 squad heals. The squad heals is easy to me, but the whole Che-Ragoti trench thing, I did not like that gun, so that was not enjoyable for me. Not a big fan of that gun at all, you know. So yeah. Even though it has full auto, it's still just an annoying gun. And the trench variant of the Fedorov will give you better hip fire, while the optical is better for longer range engagements, and I usually stick with the optical. This gun has completely changed the medic class. Medics are now able to push straight forward and challenge assault players easier. So now you're able to challenge people if you have really good skill. You're able to, you know, compete with the shotguns and the Hellriegel and things like that. I prefer the optical variant because I like a red dot sight over the irons on pretty much most of all my medic rifles. And this gun is crazy good in the smaller game modes like Domination and Team Deathmatch, since most engagement distances are very close. As you saw from my previous video that I uploaded last week, I had a 68-10 game with it. To me, if you're gonna play Domination, this is also just a friendly tip from me at least. Best Domination maps are on the French DLC. They are just crazy fun, and that Rupture map with this gun is awesome. I freaking love it. At first, the Parabellum was my favorite gun in this DLC, but over time, this one has definitely surpassed it as my favorite gun from the DLC. I still do love the Parabellum, but this one, I just absolutely love it. And yeah, so it also depends on which system you play on for whether or not which variant probably suits you better. If you're playing without aim assist on PC, or if you just don't have aim assist on at all on your console, definitely the trench is probably the better one to go to, but I don't like the iron sights on it, so I'd stick with the optical. And this gun has basically gone to my go-to gun. I switch up classes here and there, but it's kind of hard for me not to pick the medic class, because if I'm playing on Conquest, I've really enjoyed playing medic recently. So if I'm on Conquest, depending upon map, I'll go with the Selbstabler optical, or I'll go with the Fedorov. And I barely really ever play any other classes. But tell me your thoughts on this gun and what you think about it, whether, is it too OP, is it just about right? And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. I really appreciate that, any feedback you guys have. And until next time, this is Cavs Fan, signing off.